Hi everyone, I am Sri Yuliani from Doctoral Study Program Development Extension Community Empowerment Universitas 11 Maret Surakarta. In this conference, I'd like to present my paper entitled Social Responsibility and Smoke-Free Air Policy. My teams are me Sri Yuliani, Mahendra Wijaya, Supriyadi SN, and Retno Setiawati. To begin with, I'd like to address issue on smoke-free air policy. According to the Basic Health Report 2018, Indonesia is the state with the third highest number of smokers in the world. The number of beginning smokers is also high. The proportion of 10 to 18 years smoker is 3.81%. Most smokers do not reduce their cigarette consumption during COVID-19 pandemic. 63.8% of respondents consume cigarettes as much as that before pandemic. Even 13.3% of respondents report their cigarette consumption had increased. The exposure to smoke causes disease and early death in non-smoking children and adults, referred to as secondhand smoke. Children and adolescents also tend to imitate smoking behavior when they often see others smoking. The smoke-free air policy aims to reduce the number of smokers and to provide protection from smoke exposure. Many researchers found that the effectiveness of the policy is determined by key stakeholders both who have power and authority. Therefore, social responsibility or the responsibility of all organizations for the impact of their business activities on community and environment becomes an issue interesting to study. Next on to the research purpose. This research aims to identify social responsibility of stakeholders in the implementation of smoke-free area policy in relation to Surakarta city development as child-friendly city. Next, let's look at the methods. This research employs literature review method. Literature was selected purposefully with the keywords relevant to social responsibility topic, free smoke regional policy, and context of problem in Indonesia, and specifically relevant to the development of child-friendly city in Surakarta. Literature sources come from scientific journal, research reports, credible websites, and news portals. The strategy of searching for literature employs databases from Web of Science, Scopus, Science Direct, and Google Scholar. The searching for articles was conducted from June to July 2021 with unlimited publications year. Now I will look at the result and discussions. I'll start with the concept and dimension of social responsibility. Social responsibility is the responsibility of all organizations for the effect of its decision and activity on society and environment. Referring to the United Nations Guiding Principles on Business and Human Rights, United Nations Global Compact, and ISO 26000, the dimensions of social responsibility are: first, community-oriented dimension, that is commitment to improve community welfare. And second dimension of commitment to the fulfillment and protection of human rights. And third dimension of contribution to the sustainable development goals. The next issue, smoke-free air policy, benefit and constraint. Smoke-free air policy is a regulation that stipulates areas that are declared prohibited for smoking or the activities of producing, selling, advertising, and or promoting tobacco products. Smoke-free air policy has exerted positive effect on the quality of health and makes environment livable and family-friendly, and also give healthy role models to children to prevent them from smoking. But the main constraint in implementing smoke-free air policy is the high economic contribution of transnational cigarette companies inhibit the enforcement of smoke-free air policy, especially in Indonesia. So the implementation of smoke-free policy needs strong commitment by the government's leaders. The last issue, social responsibility in smoke-free air policy in the case in Surakarta. Smoke-free air policy is established through Perda Kota Surakarta number 9 of 2019 about smoke-free area. However, smokers and cigarette advertisements are still found in many prohibited places, particularly the areas close to children teaching, learning, and playing activities. This problem makes Surakarta city unsuccessfully gain the child-friendly city predicate. The implementation of smoke-free area policy in Surakarta city encounters the dilemma between an interest in realizing the child-friendly city and the contribution of cigarette tax to local original income. The largest revenue is contributed by cigarette company, nearly 1.5 trillion Indonesian rupiah. This case proves that social responsibility to community development, human rights protection, and contribution to sustainable development goals is not easy to realize in its implementation. Economic business interest becomes the main consideration, so that the potential of human rights infringement and environmental damage is very large. Finally, this article concluded that the smoke-free policy is an indicator of child-friendly city that cannot be implemented easily, as it is replete with conflict of interest. Both central and local government are faced with dilemmatic situation between interest in public health and economic interest to maintain the life sustainability of those dependent on cigarette industry and the very strategic contribution of cigarette tax to fund local development. These interconnected economic and political interests become the main constraint to public organization, government, and business organization, cigarette company, and undertaking social responsibility obligation to make the people prosperous and to fulfill the children's right to clean, health, and pollution-free living environment. That's all my presentation. Thank you for the attention.